Alright, so today we're going to learn how to set up 2D and 3D within a project. It's kind of like switching in between the two, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to create a new level. This is a brand new project. I'm going to just call it main. And I'm going to open it up. And then I'm going to go to File, Project Settings, go over here to Maps and Modes. Then I look for your main. And so change your editor startup map to main and game default map to main. And so here, I'm just going to save it. So go ahead and do add feature or content pack, and we're just going to grab the third person and we're just going to add it to project. All right, now once that's added, we're just going to go to player, and then we're going to go to, or actually edit plugins, and then type in paper ZD, make sure that's enabled, and then restart. So this is the little roguelike game I'm making, and I'm just going to migrate all this stuff over. So I'm going to just do migrate. Let's open up our project, and now we have everything here. Go to third person, blueprints, third person character, drag her out, and so now she's here, and the input is already available as well. Although the only thing is that if you import, the IMC is separate. So what you'll have to do is open up your IMC for your main character. So IMC, yeah, IMC player input. So this is for the top-down character we have right now that we created in my last video. So what we'll have to do is move everything from the third person character over to your top-down character IMC. I don't know if it's a bug, but I could not get the controls to work properly with using two different IMCs. So what we're gonna do is just I'm gonna copy everything over. So add mapping, I jump, and then I'm just gonna bind it to spacebar, and I won't worry about the controllers at the moment, just for time's sake. Add another one for I move, and then you want to make sure you choose the right one. You could tell by the directory, so that says game third person input actions. So let's do that. We're going to open up move W, make sure that we're going to go through and make sure the modifiers are good. So on the modifier, we're going to have a swizzle input axis, so +1 swizzle, and then everything else looks good. Close the W, and then add another for A. Open up A, open up the modifier, and that's negate. So let's do negate, and then I'm going to close these two, add S, open up S, and then these says two modifiers, and what we're going to do is trigger two modifiers. I actually think that this might work without it, but I'm just going to set it up like this anyways, just in case. Negate. Awesome. And then last one, D. Yeah, this might work without setting up to move, but let's just set it up anyways. Last one is look, so we're just going to add one more, call it look, and we're just going to open it up, and we're going to do mouse XY 2D axis. And then when you open it up here, we have one modifier called negate. So now we've combined the two, and that's everything we need, and we can just close it, close that, and go here, go to player master, and we're just going to drag off of here BP player cast to player controller, and then from here go to object get controller. We're going to grab the controller, do enhanced input system valid, do the one with the question mark, and from here you could do add mapping context, just like that, and then if it's valid, then it grabs the mapping context, which is IMC player input. Cool, so we have that set up, and then we are going to create another one called event possessed cast player controller. Plug that in. Same thing here. We could just copy and paste, or Control D to duplicate, and just plug the controller into the enhanced input local system, local player subsystem, and then make sure your IMC is the player input that we have created before, which if you copy and paste it, it will. So now let's go ahead and head into the third person character. So go third person, blueprints, third person character. Instead of begin play, what we're going to do is disconnect this, and then we're going to bring in event possessed, and we're just going to plug this right here and into the object. Compile and save, and then make sure the mapping context on the third person character is our player input. Alright, so we're going to create a interacting system in a second, but first let's just create the blueprint to switch. Let's just go into a folder wherever you would like it to be, and let's go ahead and let's create an actor. So blueprint class actor, and we're just going to call it BP possess. And how I'm going to set this up is something where you could just push E and then you can interact with it. So we're just going to create a really quick interface. You want to go to blueprint and then blueprint interface, and we're just going to call it BPI interact, and go ahead and open it up, and we're just going to compile and save this, and we're going to create a new function or rename this to interact. Compile and save. So close that, and on your third person character, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put this on both, but you want to do player input. So let's go ahead and add one more and call it IA grab. It's not the best title for that, but it'll do for now. So I grab, and we're just gonna do E, and let's go ahead and go to third person and do IA grab. That, open it up, and then we're gonna go to started for each loop. And from the array, go ahead and drag down and do get overlapping actors. And then in the actor, or in the array element, go to does implement interface, say yes. And then we're gonna call it BPI interact. Let's go ahead and hold B and left click, or you can type in branch, either way it works for you. And then we're going to dragging the return value into the condition. BPI interact, so interact just like that, and then plug it in, and then from the target, go ahead and do the array element. So it should just look like this. I'm going to add a comment and just do interact and make it like gray. I'm going to copy this and go ahead and head over to your 2D character, which is the player here, and go to event graph, copy and paste, and this is the interact system below, just so the same things work here as well. So now we're going to open up our BP possess that we created earlier, and we're just going to go to class settings first, interface, and then we're just going to do add and type in BPI interact. Before we go in and do the code, what we're going to do is we are going to create a trigger. So sphere collision, and I'm just going to keep it about that big. I'm going to call it trigger, and then I'm going to add in a sprite as well. And you can redo these however you like, but I'm just going to add in source sprite. Let's just do bullet, and I'm going to scale it up by 4, 270, just so we can see where it is on the map. But you can customize this. You can add like a terminal, you can add like some sort of portal if you like, but yeah, this is just for the example. So let's go ahead and go to the event graph, right click the trigger, add event, and on component begin overlap, right click the trigger again, and on component end overlap. Have those ready to go. Also, what we're going to do is just double click your interact, and that creates an event interact button. And so we'll set this one up first. Type in flip-flop, and this is really simple. You can make this as intense as you like, but I'm just getting everything working for you. Get player controller unpossess, plug that into A. You just copy or control D, duplicate, plug it in there, and then make sure this is plugged into the controller. And we're going to add a couple variables. So we're just going to do add variable, and I'm going to do 2D char ref, as in 2D character reference. Just type in BP player master, because that's the player master is the name of my 2D character. So whatever your 2D character is, just go ahead and grab the object reference and open one more variable and do third person ref, or whatever character yours is, and then just make sure to change the variable to BP third person character. Compile and save. Go ahead and if you hold Alt or Control, it'll get it, and if you hold Alt while you drag it out, it'll set it, by the way. From your player controller, go ahead and type in possess, and then plug this in, Control D, and plug that in, and I'm just going to create one more where it's plugged in there, and just tidying up code really quick. Compile and save. For your second char ref, go ahead and hold Control and bring it in and get it, and put it to in pawn, and same with plugging in your third person ref in pawn. And again, you could set it up however you like, but this is just for the tutorial example. Yeah, so now let's go ahead and go up here. Go to component begin overlap, cast to BP player master. From other actor, go ahead and plug that into the object, and Control D, set visibility. Really quick, we're going to create a widget. So user interface, blueprint widget. So we're just going to do user widget. So widget blueprint WBP interact, and I'm just gonna go here, add a canvas, and then add text here, make it centered, And then I'm just going to change the text block to and center it. Super simple widget setup. Awesome. And then go ahead and go back to your player possess, add, type in widget, and then from the widget, go to widget class on the right and do WBP and then interact. Drag it in. Do set visibility, new visibility true. And then so whenever you go inside, the widget is there. I'll also make sure that this is rotated, be facing up. So 270 and then 90 pile. I'm gonna move it up a little bit, probably a little big, but it's fine. Just an example. So Control D and then just plug that in here. New visibility is false. And then on construction script, I'm just going to copy and paste that visibility and make it false. So when you spawn, this widget won't appear. I'll edit project settings and make sure your game mode is the same. So I'm just going to do the roguelike because that's the one I already created on my own. All right, so now we have this. Cool, so we have this. And so let's go ahead and bring in our blueprint. So BP possess, drag it in. I'm going to create just a separate area for the 3D guy. And we will grab the third person character, bring him up, go to player possess. On third person, we're just gonna have that be exposed, and then when you drag it in on third person ref, we're just gonna push third person right here, push save, and then over here, go ahead and make sure that that's the third person ref as well. So now when you are here, you're 2D, and then E, and then now you are third person. You can run around, do all those good stuff, and yeah, so that's how you change from third person to 2D. That is all. Thank you so much. Peace. Just so you guys know, I have a game on Steam that's ready to wishlist, so if you guys could wishlist this game, it'd be amazing. It's called The Red Forest, and basically it's a psychological horror turn-based game. It's story-driven. I've been working on it for the past year. I created this story back in 2019 and I finally was able to start working on it last year when Unreal made a whole bunch of updates that I really love. But yeah, if you guys could wishlist it, that'd be amazing. Also, if you join the Discord, you can access the demo so you can play as we progress through the game. Thank you so much. Peace.